Now we're live?
Now we're live.
For real?
Yeah, after having to reload and sign in twice. Yes, we're live.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's Ike from Flipside Music, and welcome to Flipside Live, Flipside Music.
Yeah.
What the fact? We're
What
here
the fact,
today,
any?
doing some new things. We got
some lights, and you guys missed the brief conversation about the red light.
yeah.
That's no longer
There
on.
was a red light there that was it's pretty bright. Right. So the boys are doing some shit here today. So welcome. As you guys know, those of you guys that have been here before, it's a weekly question and answer show. We kind of shoot the breeze about what's going on in the industry for about a half hour, then we just test out some pedals. I am here as always with
Dylan
and
Jacob.
Jacob's here too. Yep.
And Ziglet down here.
Yep. Ziggy's down here in his normal spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was something else, and now I forgot. I don't know. So today we're going to check out some Fairfield Circuitry pedals.
Yes.
And I got a Gretsch, and I think Dylan's got a
Yamaha.
Yamaha.
Yep.
So yeah. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey, was there anything interesting happening in the last week or so? Well, we had a couple that we starting to talk about. So we can jump back into that one.
You're still far away. Okay. Well, yeah, there was the NAMM show, obviously. What was your? Because I've kind of been asking everybody today, what was their takeaway from since we didn't go? What was your kind of takeaway this year from what you saw at least?
So to be honest, I will be honest with you guys. I didn't see shit.
Yes.
Because I didn't watch. Like we didn't go.
Right.
Okay, and there wasn't anything specifically we were trying to pursue this year, and I didn't really watch a lot of videos on stuff. I mean, I saw some pictures and postings, but it's nothing that I didn't already have
Emails about 2 months ago.
Emails about a month before the NAMM show that were like,
Yeah.
hey, this is our new launch product, this is our new thing, this is what's coming out. So it's like everything that was kind of launched there, I just already saw it in an email from the manufacturers that we deal with. Obviously, there's companies that put out some stuff that we don't have.
Right.
But I didn't see anything that was like, oh my God, I got to watch a video about that and see what it is. You know, there's no way I was watching pedals. I was going to watch, videos about the new Marshall pedals. It just didn't seem like I wasn't super excited about that,
Well,
which
and
is also another topic we'll get to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would agree. I felt like usually in previous years, whether we win or not, shit would kind of bubble to the surface. You would see kind of people chatting about things. I don't really feel like anything this year really. I mean, the two things that seemed to bubble to the surface the most were something we already had in the store, which was the Rockman pedal from MXR. The other one was the reissuing stuff that PV did with the Decade. But those were literally like the only two that I saw pop up multiple times, and everybody was acting like they really stole the show. And I was like, that to me, I guess I was disappointed because I feel like that's reissues of things taking the spotlight it's okay, but it's also like little more calm this year. Jacob and I, like before the stream, we're kind of talking. It seemed like this year was more focused on the community part of it and just the dealers meeting with the manufacturers again. Like that seemed to be more because like I would say most of the manufacturers that I follow on like Instagram, most of their posts were not about products they had. It was about, hey, it was good to see this guy, or hey, it was good to see this guy, or hey, it was good to see these people.
I mean, every year we see those, like we're making fun of those pictures. And I saw a ton of that stuff from people that I know, there's sales reps that I'm friends with or companies that I follow, oh, so-and-so is here, so-and-so is there. Hey, look, it's a picture of,
Bootsy again.
Yeah. Or whatever Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I didn't see anything that I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I would say there was
that? And I also didn't get
there was no socks being removed this year.
Yeah, and I also didn't get any emails or I didn't get any texts from people that went that were like, dude,
You gotta check this
you
out.
gotta check this thing out. Like I didn't get any from anybody, and I go, usually I'm at the show and somebody's like, dude, go check out
Yeah, go check out this
the
booth.
T-Rex
Yeah.
Benson or whatever.
Yeah.
That, you know, like,
I remember that.
you know, check this out. You know, so, but none of that this year.
The coolest thing I saw was that Cream guitars. They had a flip-flop paint job thing. So it like can change with, you can control what the top looks like.
Oh.
Oh, you can actually change it, or is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
change
yeah.
with the light?
No, it like, you can have digital control of
Over the color of your. Wow.
And
Okay.
so you can put like a different pick guard and like, it's
Oh,
pretty slick.
That's interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I can't say I saw that, but that is pretty interesting.
Can't say I would order that, but
Yeah.
somebody will. Somebody will.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
If I had the money, I would.
Yeah, no, it definitely seemed this year was, well, and Jacob had a fair point about that earlier too when we kind of were talking about that. It seemed like a lot of companies this year are either releasing things way ahead of the show or after the show. It wasn't as much like waiting to release stuff at NAMM this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Because like even MXR, like that's why I was so surprised everybody's talking about the Rockman at NAMM, and I was like, I mean, not that it's old news, but between the emails, it coming in the shop before the NAMM show, I was like, it feels like old
yeah, for
news.
us it was already
Yeah.
like in process, so we're like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already got some ordered, so
Right.
I already know it's coming out, and I knew
Yeah.
weeks
Well,
and
and
weeks
And
ahead
we've
of the
played
time.
half a dozen of the originals over the years, so like we're
Yeah.
well acquainted with what the thing is. So it was just one of those things that like I thought that was odd that was like the big takeaway was the Rockman and well, I guess some people,
decade
yeah,
stuff.
the decade, but some people were bringing up, the Fender standards, and again, though, that just, we kind of talked about that last week, where that,
Eric wants to know what you
Oh,
guys think about
those, oh, okay,
So
yeah,
we haven't gotten any in yet. I got them on order. We're probably not going to see them until mid-February. Some are in March. We kind of missed out on the first thing because I think a lot of the bigger box stores snatched them up. I had some that were available and I was going to order them, and then I got sidetracked and I went back to it the next day, and they were all sold out.
yeah,
So I think they're going to be, I mean, they're at a $600 price point. Okay. I think there's going to be people that are going to like it. It will say Fender on the headstock. They are made, yes, in Indonesia. So,
is it,
the
sorry,
specs,
is it Court?
most likely,
Okay.
is what I would
was
assume.
like, yeah, because it's like if Fender's setting up like another spot, that would be kind of wild.
But I mean, I would assume probably Court is going to make them.
Yeah.
That's what I assume. I don't know for sure.
Who makes the Squires? Does Court make the Squire?
Possibly. I
'Cause
I
they
don't
feel
know
like
100%.
Squires with a Fender sticker on it.
Yeah, I don't, and that's
yeah, like if that was the only thing you changed, that's all
right.
it is.
And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing is like, the specs on them. I'm like, well, it's $150 more than a Classic Vibe Squire, and we all like those guitars. I mean, so
It's like an insecurity fee.
but it almost feels like, and we haven't gotten any, so I haven't played any, so I'm not gonna say shit. I'm not gonna talk shit about it because I don't know until I actually get my hands on one and play it and see what it looks like and feels like. But it just at a glance, it almost feels like, it's like you're paying an extra $100 or so for a Fender sticker. But I don't know. Like I said, once I see the build quality, but the build quality
That's
on
where,
Classic
yeah.
Vibes are pretty solid.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what
I want to see the difference between the Classic Vibe. That's where I want to.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because like that's my only worry is that like I'm just hoping it's not more money for a step backwards in quality. Because it's like if and literally if they even straight up basically say that it's a Classic Vibe with a Fender logo, I'd be like, okay, I get it. I kind of get it. But if it's gonna take a step back into like the Squire standard or even like the if it's gonna edge back towards the Affinity stuff, then
Right. But
I
I
feel
think that
that
might
would
be
that
too
that
far.
makes me nervous. Yeah.
I think it's going to be my assumption would be it's going to be of the Classic Vibe quality, hopefully a little bit better to make people feel better
You
that
would
they're
hope
not.
so. Yeah.
I just don't want people to feel like, oh, I'm paying an extra $150 for a fender sticker.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Of like, in my head, it could be even more than that because if you're taking a step back towards the affinity stuff, then you're almost paying, $200 to $300 for that logo rather than.
Right. Well,
You
that's
know,
where I
yeah.
want to see. All right, let's see what these things look like when they come in, because I don't know what they're going to be like until they get here.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
You know,
yes, you're
and
definitely right. We
I'm-
can't really assess them till we play one, but
Yeah, and I'm hoping
I'm just
for
saying
the best.
concerns. Yes.
I
Yeah.
do know that cola red finish that they have is, I like it a lot.
So we'll know more when we get it, so we can play them and see, and then we can
Make an assessment.
make a proper assessment. I don't know until I get my hands on them. Now the thing is that I think Fender has tried to listen to people and make adjustments on things to improve the guitars. Like I think the new Player 2 series stuff is really good.
Yeah, actually,
Is
that
it a
was
step
that
up?
was a big jump up from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a step up from the Player series? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So
And a
with-
step in the right direction.
Ultras are like one of the first guitars I've picked up that I felt the premiumness.
yeah.
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 Yeah, so that's what I think Fender's trying to make sure they're going to differentiate between the Squier and the Fender brand. So they may look affinity-ish from what I've seen, a little lighter fretboards, but we don't know. The thing is it may have a bit of that aesthetic, but actually is a much better player or a better quality guitar. So we'll
Well, that's why I was
assess
sort of
when we get
curious
some in.
about Court because, like, when GNL did those, those slightly more budget-friendly ones where it was like less finish, like those
You
were.
could tell.
Yeah, you could tell, and so that's why I'm like I'm a little more. Like I guess I'm not nervous because I'm not. It's not like I'm personally getting into that, but it's like it just. I guess in terms of sales and with people's expectations. Like it makes me until we play one, like it's really hard to say. But just going off of
we're
those
going to have
initial-
some
Yeah.
when they get in.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wants any, you can always reach out. We'll have
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll do a.
we'll have
or
all of
include
them.
Yeah.
To some degree. Maybe
Yeah.
not every color, but there's not a ton. The thing is, we're still,
I think there's
we got some of each. Yeah,
4 per thing.
yeah, and I think I got 2 of each thing, so we'll have some available. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see when they come in because that's going to be the big.
Eric's getting into the nitty gritty, saying the Allen wrench that comes with it basically fits the Squier necks. That's hard to base anything off of. I would have expected that, but but it's just that is a funny point. We'll see. Again, like we've said, we can't make a full assessment till we see them. We'll just have to see how they are when they land. But it does seem like they're getting a lot of interest, so that part's at least pretty good. I can't really think of anything else, though. Again, I feel like kind of like you, like I wasn't trying to avoid anything from NAMM this year. I just don't feel
I
like
agree.
there was. I kind of usually let a lot of that stuff bubble to the surface. Well, and even usually Goots even is following that stuff, and I was asking him this morning, and we were both like, "Yeah, I got nothing," because it just didn't
Yeah,
seem
and last
like
week was a
lot.
busy week for me for other stuff, so
Yeah.
I wasn't kind of focusing even on watching any videos or watching recaps.
Yeah, but even
I
then,
I
like
looked at some
scrolling
of-
through your feed, you're gonna become aware of shit like
Yeah,
that, and that's what I
looked
mean.
at,
Yeah.
Guitar Player Magazine, I get the email, so they do a NAMM recap day 1, which they go over a bunch of stuff, and I looked at it going, okay, I know about that, I already know about that, I know about this, I know.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of things that I was already aware of that were out there. So, yeah, so I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
So Music Therapy Laz says that EVH has an SA-126 in white now. So if you're interested, call me. I also got a black one if you want one of those.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Yeah.
A deal, no less. Yeah. Oh yeah. What was the other thing we were talking about? Dumble. That was Dumble and Marshall.
We were
That
talking
was
about Dumble and Marshall.
Yeah, those were the other 2 topics. So I guess we'll segue to Marshall first since you brought them up already.
Yeah, so Dave just brought that up right there. The Marshall stuff wasn't too exciting, and then the buyout. So yeah. So I saw, we all saw like the pedals, and we're like, okay, whatever. Like, If
Like-
you should have been in that game
30
long
years
ago,
ago.
or at least 10 or 12 years ago. You should have been on that. They should have been on that because it's like these are your signature kind of sounds. You should have put some stuff out, a JCM 800 pedal out a long time ago.
They were busy making refrigerators.
Yeah, that's
And,
probably that might be the
coat
only thing I would
racks
buy
and-
from them
yeah.
right now.
And keychain holders and no, I mean that was the thing with that. Again, late to the game, and kind of like why? Because there's just so many other good companies doing that shit, and they've been doing it. They've been dialing that stuff in for years. So it's like, it's especially because I mean, like I said, Lawrence, I still have yet to play anything that outdoes his stuff when it comes to the Marshall in a box stuff. And it's like with his, if you can't at least hit that mark, I am kind of in the why bother camp because there's so many out there. It's kind of like the same thing like with Tube Screamers. It's like the one Mythos put out is really great. That was actually a big, and for a Tube Screamer, it was a good jump forward.
Yeah.
But so it's like if you're gonna offer something that's cool, but unless you can hit a nice high mark, it's kind of like it's just such a competitive spot. And again, to be that late to the game, it's like you're showing up to the party after everybody left, is in bed, woke up the next morning, and like you just showed up.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think they've had their struggles over the last number of years, figuring out their direction, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. Like some of their offerings that they've had have been okay. Maybe not as one would expect. I think there's been a couple that have been a little, pricing wise, is expensive, and I just don't think. I think that they've when I was a kid, it was basically Fender and Marshall. Everybody either played one of the two, essentially. And you'd have those folks that would have like all the other ancillary amps, Mesa Boogies and stuff like Carvins and stuff. And there was a lot of good amps out there, but it was Fender and Marshall were the king of the hill. And Fender or Marshall had the rock game sewed, and they had that for a long time. But they've been kind of slowly falling off with things that just didn't sound as good. You know what I mean? It was like they had really great amps, and then there was things that were like, okay, this is okay, but it wasn't the industry like front runner for a while. And then all the other stuff
they really
becoming the lesser of the brand. Yeah. Almost the meat and potatoes where it's like they sell a lot of those. I don't think there was enough there to sustain all of it. You know what I mean? Like, the DSLs are decent amps. I mean, I don't hate those amps. Are there other things in that price point that may give a better option? There's a lot more competition now, so you have to be a little bit more ahead of the game. You see what I mean? Like, you can't just rest on your ass. You gotta like be innovative in that too.
Well, that innovative and or deliver things that people want, before it's too late. Because like that was kind of the way I felt like when they ended up doing the reissues of like the Silver Jubilee, the JCM, and they started doing those 20-watt versions. It's like, well, cool, that's great. You guys, you finally did it. But again, you guys were late to the game. You put it at a price point that kind of made them fall flat. And then it's like by that point, it just didn't translate. And I feel like again with the pedals part of it, like you said, even 5 years ago would have been good. But like literally, they probably should have been doing this back when, I mean, even like 20 years ago, like there should have been something from them that was in this ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, they could have capitalized on that and just kept selling. I mean,
because there's no way they didn't have somebody.
And those pedals. I mean, they could have reissued those a long time ago. They tried to do that 2 years ago with those other pedals, bring about the Blues Breaker and the other ones, but they put them in like shitty containers.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm a firm believer if you're going to do the reissuing thing now, go ahead and do a limited run of the original looking whatever. If you want to, pay kind of tribute to the original one, but then go ahead and release a version that is more like modern pedal board friendly.
Right.
Because like not everybody's gonna, Again, I know like last time we kind of got into the whole thing of whether pedal board real estate is valuable now or not, because there's collectors versus people that are going to use them. But I would still argue, like in this day and age, you can make a normal size pedal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that
But
would
you
be
can satisfy, like you said, you could have
Yeah.
a limited edition satisfy the collector people
Right.
that like want to buy it for the nostalgia or whatever,
Yeah.
and then have it for everybody else that goes, that's a solid pedal, I want it on my board, but I want it to have a,
Like EHX, they offer that giant big muff.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. But then you can get like
the regular Nano.
You can get it,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's
the
the same thing.
exact
Yeah.
circuit.
Right. So it's like, because if you ever open up one of those big ones,
It's a teeny
it's
little
like
board.
that much wiring, like a little tiny bit of wiring.
Well, yeah, the board is the size of the knob, so like the area
Yeah.
that the knobs
And the rest of it
encompass,
is just metal.
open space. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Right.
could have
You
add
could
like
put
a
your
half
weed in
bath
there.
in there. Yeah,
You could put your weed in there. So yeah, I think Marshall had the code, so they were trying to go in that digital side of stuff too. I don't know that was as popular as, you got to remember, you got Line 6 with the Catalyst, you got Katana came out and just,
well, yeah, the Katana's just dominant.
they just dominated the market in that area. Fender also had their Mustang series stuff, which was prevalent as well. So, a lot more competition can make it difficult for a legacy brand.
Well, yeah, and Marshall, like you said, in the days of the JMP all the way through the JCM, they were king. I mean, like that was
absolutely.
yeah, and it's like and I guess that's kind of the way I've been feeling lately with amps in general. It's like there's so many now, and there's so many boutique brands and boutique versions of things that are also falling in a similar price point as some of these really big companies.
Right.
And I think that's the part that's getting harder too. Is like you could literally buy a boutique amp, handmade, hand wired, versus getting something from some of these larger companies, and it's like they have so much more overhead that the prices end up basically coming out to about the same. And it's like in this day and age, that's a hard sell. And then
Yeah.
you start adding in, you're trying to compete with things that other companies have already been doing for years and years and years. Because I mean, that's the thing too. Like with Boss, you could tell because I mean, I know we used to joke that they kind of went into hibernation for a few years and then all of a sudden they emerged. But really, I think somebody there was thinking, and they're like, okay, we've been making we've been making JCs for 45 years.
Yeah.
Let's take all that knowledge, make a slightly simpler version of it, and then boom, there's the Katana. And like sure enough,
with
that
the
thing
walls
is
of technology
yeah,
from
yeah.
Japan and stuff, that I think is what, because I remember when they first started out with the Waza pedals, and I was like, I remember being at the NAMM show list trying them out, and I'm like, these sound really good. So that Waza technology then started to do the thing and they were able to put it together in the Katana where it was affordable and sound good. So it makes it harder for all these other amp brands. And you got to remember, what is the overall percentage of people that are playing live? So these are like used by musicians in a live setting at bars, clubs, wherever, compared to your bedroom players. Because so much of our market is
home players
are the guys that are just in their basement or in their back room that are nerding out on gear and playing, and they're never going to play a club. So I think there's two different kind of demographics, if you will, for that stuff. Because the guys that are at home, they'll buy a pedal and they'll dick with it for a couple hours and then may or may not use it. And then guys that play out
that is a good point.
are
That's
looking for a specific thing that's going to be consistent for a while.
Well, you're right. That is actually a very good point, because that makes it a lot harder to dominate a market when the market is not only fracturing, but the uses for those markets are wildly different. So that is a good point.
Where are you going to want to sell more things? Mm-hmm. You're probably going to want to sell more stuff to the bedroom guys.
Because there's probably more of them.
The at-home players, the at-home studio. Because what I'm saying is there's plenty of guys that are really incredible songwriters and players that
don't desire to play out.
That they don't want to play out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a couple guys that are just like that. Amazing players. They're just like, I have no desire to load shit in a car and go talk to some guy with beer breath for an hour about nonsense.
Well, and how many venues are even allowing you to crank up your 100-watt
True.
Marshall?
Right.
True.
A lot of places don't want you to. Even something like that, you know, the
Jacob's
Blues.
like, I strangled a guy the other day who tried to do it.
Yeah, that Blues
I
Deluxe
feel
over
like
there.
the only club in
No,
town.
you are, yeah.
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 That Blues Deluxe over there. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's 40 watts. I'm not bringing that anymore. It sounds amazing, but I don't need 40 watts. Like, listen, a deluxe reverb or a Blues Junior or something is more than enough because everybody's throwing a mic in front to put it through the PA, and so the sound guy could feel happy about himself doing his job. Sorry, no offense, bud. No offense, bud. Hey man, is that the amp you're gonna use? Because you know every fucking sound guy's in their little cube, fucking stink eye on the guitar player as he walks in, because that's their thing, right?
Well, it's just it's hard to control.
The pause was enough. The pause was enough. Let me
Yeah, see,
calculate.
Dastardly Dave gets it.
What he say?
Can't overpower the house system.
Yeah. See, yeah.
See, that's an implied
Hey,
weakness
Ryan.
in the house system. No, I'm just kidding.
Good.
But see, at our house,
Yes.
we like to use that in a complimentary
Yes.
fashion.
To enhance
Yeah.
things instead of, yeah. Oh, Gordo.
Yeah. Can I have you turn down just a hair? But those are different markets. When you really think about it, like the tube amp guys and the solid state guys, and now
Well,
we've
now,
introduced the, you know, the non-amp crowd. So we have the Helix guys and the you know,
yeah, the modeling.
the modeling stuff is a whole nother section that's basically pulling away from a shrinking pool anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
know,
and then even within that too, like you do, you know, like the punk and metal guys are in a totally different ballpark than, because a lot of them, like sometimes they end up playing places that don't even, like, it's not that common to play a place without a PA these days, but
Right.
if if you're in a metal band or a punk band, chances are you're going to run into that at some point. So that's where, or like you get it to where you only have the PA for the vocals or whatever it's going to be.
Right.
Because like those guys, yeah. Because I was gonna say those are times where I'm like, you know, it makes sense, but those guys are again coming from an older school background at this point now.
Right.
Because like even if they're younger guys, like they're still trying to emulate and they're still approaching things the same way guys would have 20 or 30 years ago.
roll in,
Yeah.
roll that Marshall half stack
Yeah.
behind you, and that's I
Right.
mean that's part of that.
But even within that, though, again, that's where because like I feel like I noticed that here, like like especially we'll get guys up front where like you get like a guy that's more into blues stuff, who goes to like jams where he gets yelled at if he turns up his amp too loud versus this metal kid that just joined the metal band. They don't have any money. They don't have their own PA. He has to keep up with this drummer that's insanely loud. So it's like
Right.
even that, like those things are starting to get even further apart within the group that still uses amps. And then, like you said, you start factoring in modelers and everything else.
And
it just
also
gets
those-
more and more fractured. So it is harder for an amp company to just
And price,
Dominate.
Like back to price.
And your price,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
that was
the
getting
most cabinets I see at the crypt are Atlas.
which is interesting
It's
because
a boutique brand.
Yeah.
It's the same price as a Marshall 412.
yeah,
To buy an
well,
Atlas
yeah, and you're getting an heirloom piece more or less.
and
Yeah.
something that you got to pick everything on.
Right.
But also, if you look at it, like some of those, punk rock guys or the metal guys, if you're just starting out, there's not a lot of extra dough for stuff. So
No.
you're looking for used, JCM 900s.
Well, and funny enough, yeah, like
Or,
use Marshall cabs or whatever it
yeah,
is.
or
'Cause, like,
2000s or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
So you're looking for some stuff that's like this'll kind of do the thing, supplemented maybe with some pedals, or a pedal, or a pedal, and they're still trying to go inexpensive.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
they're
it's
not
all-
buying a
It's all
3.
PV too. I see more
Yeah.
PVs
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
anything.
Well,
Because
PV
those
still
are cheap used.
yeah,
they are,
and they're
something
pretty
like
bulletproof.
a Valve King 100.
Oh yeah.
That thing still sounds killer. I don't
Those
give a shit.
VTMs are where it's at.
Dude, even the old Bandits, I'll tell you what, man, those Studio Pro 112s, those with the tube logic in them, I mean, those are killer amps too. So there's a lot of really good PVs. I like the Valve Kings a lot. I've been waiting for 112 to pop up on the used market for a couple $100, and I'm going to snatch it up when I see one.
Yeah.
Because I like those amps a lot. Because you could do the rock thing, but they also sound pretty good in other settings as well.
And then who bought Marshall?
Oh yeah, back to the
So
back to
that's
that
where
part.
that's part of where we were. Some Chinese company, I don't remember right offhand. I read it. But I think the Marshall family still is going to retain like 20%.
20%, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I guess I do wonder what that means for. I mean, obviously, everybody that works there is probably wondering what it means for them too. I'm just curious, what it means for the company as a whole. So.
I don't know, but I mean, I think we've seen, like I said, over the last few years, it's just nothing exciting has really happened. I mean, we picked up Marshall, and we may, put them on pause for a little bit until we see what goes on, just because who knows what's going to happen, and we have other brands that do things. So, it's
Yeah, no, and I mean, I think they finally did deliver things that people wanted. They just took so long to do it that they kind of lost any momentum they would have had.
And that who knows how the company, the direction, who's running it, and how and what they were thinking, and all that other stuff. So,
well, what I guess I find interesting about it is like you have a company, like I can't remember what parent company owns, because like the same company that owns Hiwatt owns Park and a couple other companies.
yeah,
And they are very much, I feel like, hitting the right mark of like, all right, we're going to produce the models that everybody knows the company for. We're going to reissue those, and then we're also going to offer, more affordable like solid state versions that are actually still really, because like a lot of the high watt solid state stuff's great. So it's one of those things where like they're hitting both marks, and they're not really trying to they're not filling up the middle ground with a bunch of shit. They're just hitting both primary markets, and they're not really like screwing around.
I was on the Hiwatt website yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we got some here for those of you guys that are looking for Hiwatts, and we got some other ones coming in too.
Well, and I think Hiwatt though is also like, if you look at their roster now of endorsed artists, like they are really hitting some nice big up and coming bands like Amyl and the Sniffers, the Idols, Elder. Like a lot of different bands are starting to get that Slift. A lot of these guys are finally starting to get that stuff, and so I think there's a perceived relevance from Hiwatt, even though some of that stuff is literally 60 years old. The designs are 60 years old at this point.
But I think people, because they were absent from them for so long, and now they're coming through and they sound great.
Yeah.
They're well built. Yes, there's some expensive,
And they're perfect for pedals, which is what most people are into now. So.
but yes, there's expensive ones, and that's like you're saying, they're going to hit that tour market or that studio market.
Yeah.
But they have all these other ones that are within reason.
Yes.
That are still like the Lead 15. I think would be one that would be, it's reasonable enough for people to get into.
Well, yeah, and I feel like for what it is, it's not compromising. Like it's not trying to be something it's not. And I guess I appreciate the fact that they're zoning in on what people actually want. They're trying to deliver it, and they're not trying to just clog up the works with a bunch of extra shit. They're just like, they know, because I'm sure they probably have two distinct teams. Like this team does this stuff and this team does this stuff, and that's the way they keep it. And it's like that. To me, that's a good way to go in today's market, because that way you're not missing either end, and you're also not overcomplicating things.
Yeah, you're not pulling a. Well, never mind. You're not pulling a Fender where it's every $50 it's a new thing.
Right.
They got their system. Hey, it's Matt from Texas Toast. What's going on, man?
Oh, hey, Matt.
He said they had a pretty good time over at the NAMM show, at the secondary NAMM show.
Yeah, the NAMM adjacent
the
show.
wood wires and volts. Yeah,
That actually looked pretty fun.
it looked like it was a cool setup. What do you call it? Matt said that they had a good show. So I haven't been over to see him yet, but I'm sure I'll get more details.
Yeah, it looked like Jimmy had some cool pictures with, was it Abigail?
Yeah.
Which that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was
she's like music gear royalty.
yeah,
so.
legend.
Yeah.
So Matt asked how we're doing. We're doing good. We're doing this thing. It's Thursday, shooting the shit, and then 5 minutes of pedal testing.
Yeah.
That's how it always goes. But it's a good,
There's There was a lot going on in the music world this week.
This
Yeah,
time, yeah, we
yeah,
actually
yeah.
had something to talk about this time.
Well,
so.
there's things to chat about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, what it's gonna look like with Marshall, but I wish him the best. I hope they do well.
Well, yeah, it
we'll
always-
see what comes out of it.
Well, yeah, because I feel like everybody, not everybody, but I feel like a lot of people have a nostalgia for them. So it's like it's kind of one of those things of like, you do hope that they do well and that nothing major, ends up happening because it's like, yes, we personally haven't had the best, sell through on some of that stuff yet, but I still really hope the company sticks around and, you never know what things can change. So
Yeah, I mean, sometimes an acquisition can revitalize a company.
Right.
Sometimes it can go to shit. I don't know.
yeah.
But I would like to think that maybe in this case they can maybe they'll merge with Wang. The Wang amplifiers.
The Marshall Wings.
Well, those Wang amplifiers
no, I
are
know.
basically
Yeah.
they look like all you had to do is change the badge,
Yeah.
and it was basically it looked like exactly like a Marshall. So, or you could just whip out your Wang. Oh no, I don't play Marshall. I
Play Wang.
Yeah, I play my Wang. There was a guy in town for a long time that was peddling them shits.
Yeah, I remember.
And he was all over like Denver Music Gear Swap and all the local music stuff until people I think the administrators just started banning him because he was so like,
So much. Shit.
it was so much, and that they were just finally like, yeah, I think we're just not going to let you do this anymore. But yeah, I think Marshall's going to, it'll be based in China, I'm sure.
Looking at the list of companies that investment group has purchased previously, they're all really solid stuff. It's like Canva, that's one of them. So it's not like Shein.
What's Sheen?
They sell clothes, like fast fashion. They're huge.
Fast fashion. What is that?
I don't
like
even know
slip-ons?
I don't even know what normal fashion is.
Yeah,
So.
like this. What's fast
Yeah.
fashion?
It's stuff you like throw away fairly quickly.
Well, it's not for me then.
Biodegradable.
I got T-shirts
clothes,
that are
or-
like 15 years old.
Oh,
For
I
fuck's
got-
sake.
Yeah, I got shirts that are older than me. That's for sure.
I've never heard of the term fast fashion. This is-
biodegradable clothes.
Dissolves.
They really cheaply, and so they fall apart really fast.
Isn't that just all things these days? I'm
Isn't
just
that
kidding.
most stuff? I mean, most stuff is built to not make it very long.
JD Business.
What's JD Business?
Don't they give out those car awards every year?
Oh, JD Power and Associates.
Oh, that's Power and Associates.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll dive
Yeah,
into
let's
pedals
try
then.
some stuff.
Yeah. You might need. To...
Gordo says he's in a slow fashion. We know. We know Gordo.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, there was a whole thing yesterday with the backflow guy. Did they tell you that?
Oh yeah.
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 Me and Gordo were both here. The guy didn't know.
Which one was
It
it?
ain't-
Yeah.
the guy didn't know that he thought we were both the same guy. He's like, all right, all done. And Gordo's like, okay.
Or yeah. Well, yeah. Eric said he said everything was good, and or Gordo's like, okay. Yeah. Like okay. Like everything. Like it's definitely not. But
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what okay, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he clearly thought it was me. That's all
funny.
right.
Well.
All right, let's play some shit.
Okay. Get you tune real quick. All right, so yeah, today we have Fairfield Circuitry. Right now, we just have the 4 that we got back in stock. They actually have been selling through pretty quick because last time we got them, we didn't even have them long enough to do this. So I think we have the overdrive, fuzz, modulation, and delay. I'll have to check the names again in a moment. I know this one's the shallow water. This one's the thingamabobbin.
Meat mod.
Meat mod.
Meat
What?
mod.
This one's the meat mod?
The delay.
Oh, the delay is the meat mod. Okay. Delay is the meat mod. That one's the shallow water modulation.
The around 900. Is that what that?
Well, that's what it looked like. I was trying to figure out what that meant because it just said 900 on the back. But anyway, 900
It
fuzz.
was like the little like around
Yeah, and then
the barber shop.
Yeah, the barbershop overdrive. So, I guess we'll start with the delay.
Yeah, this thing's cool. I dig this guitar. If you can get a good look at her. All right, what are we doing?
Right now it's the delay.
Oh, that's a lot of delay. It's a little warbly. It's got a warble to it.
I thought the shallow water was still.
No. It does. It's pretty.
Do the switches change the warbles?
It's the acid. It's the acid delay. Wow, wow, wow.
So there's M and then 0, 1, and 2. So I guess we'll try with 0. Maybe that's the amount of modulation. So that sounds like 0. Okay, so none. Yeah, modulation 1. And then mod 2 gets even weirder. So okay, yeah, there it is without it.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
It's pretty modest, to be honest.
My pedal's on acid, man.
It's like you adjust the feedback, but I don't feel like it really adds a lot of distinct repeat. It's just kind of. Yeah, it's just kind of like spreading.
I'm melting away.
Okay.
All right, what else we got? We started late. That warble's killing me. Here, let me hear it without the delay thing on there. There's still a little in there though, right?
No delay.
What's that?
There's
That
no
is
delay.
the warbly pedal.
That is the
Okay,
warble,
that's
yeah.
the warbly thing? Okay,
They
I'm like,
both
wait.
have warble.
Oh, is that their thing?
Apparently.
Here in Fairfield, we like to warble
They
around.
like they're weird for sure. It's not your Rockman chorus.
What's that?
It's not your Rockman chorus.
Yeah, no.
The delay's not. I don't know. The delay's not as straight delay as I would expect. It's like it's always kind of walking the line between delay and modulation. It's not really just hitting delay. It's actually kind of cool.
I think you can control that through expression
Yeah.
or CV.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Is it backwards? I think it's backwards. Because I actually hear repeats now. See?
Mhm.
Yeah. Backwards. Did not know that. Yeah, now it sounds like a delay. There we go. There we go. Yeah, okay.
All right.
There we go.
That makes more sense then.
Back to a proper delay. Alright, fuzz first or overdrive? Which one you want?
Fuzz.
Okay.
Funny little guy. Oh yeah, we got like a minute left. Yeah.
Oh, is that really all we got? Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch it. Oh, yeah. So yeah, this one's the what color was this again?
It's like
Yellow.
highlighter yellow or something.
Yeah. Guess we don't have it on there. But yes. This one's from the RE20 series.
I love those guitars. Those are so sweet. Neon yellow.
Yeah.
That sounds good. All right, we got to wrap it up. It's 12:02.
It's
5:02. All right, so
12:02 somewhere.
go check out our fellas. Go check out our friends over at Texas Toast Guitars. They're going to be doing a live stream next, and then go check out Dylan Talks Tone, and I'm sure those guys will tell you all about their stuff at NAMM and all that good stuff that's going on. So, all right, we will catch you guys
Knew it.
on the flip side.
Got one.
What'd you get? Oh, you dinged it?
Yeah. Well, no, I was telling him it's going to be just like April again, where I always hit the mic stand. Just because I seem to not be able, like, even though my brain's like, it's right there, doesn't happen.
It's out of frame.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.